Ridiculous.
Wait, actually, I'll take a selfie. Actually, I'll take a photo. Alright?
Actually hop up on their backs and ride around on them. What? Not that tape, but they will eat out of your hands. The park wardens are always urging people don't feed the deer, but people want their selfie for Instagram or whatever, so they feed them to come closer. So we have three kinds of deer. How do you feel about deer in New Jersey? Garrett, you know the answer to this.
Love them.
Cool. Kevin loves them.
Tastes good.
And your flag is the American flag, which is also
God.
I think these days it's not New York anymore. I think it jumps around different
As I watched us going down her spine, I said, the Lord have mercy on me for a night. For a night I still have yet. For a night I'll never forget. Don't ever take the lady out tonight. If you have in your pocket only for a night. Then came the waiter and he looked at me. How's about paying the bill, said he. He kept his right eye fixed on the mine. I kept me fish on me for a night. For a night I still have yet. For a night I'll never forget. Don't ever take a lady out to dine if you have in your pocket only for a night. Then came the boss, he gave me a stare. He stuck his boot, I won't say where. Out of the window I went flying, dancing on the pavement with me all that night. All that night.
have that heritage around us all the time. And in the artwork, the designs you often see on the souvenirs, again, it's modern day Ireland harking back to the traditional Celtic designs, these wonderfully entwined designs, sometimes with a creature, a dragon or a lion there. That all goes back to the designs they're creating sort of 3,000 years ago here in the island of Ireland. So why, having mentioned the three sites around Drogheda, Newgrange, that's an important one. That is a prehistoric Stone Age. It was a burial place, one of the greatest in Europe, very 6 examples in Europe. So that's we have the two entities. So you have the 26 counties of the south, the Republic, and you have the 6 counties of Ulster in the north under the flag of the United Kingdom. So 2 separate governments on one island. So the United Kingdom, just looking at that one, the United Kingdom of course is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Kingdom obviously refers to the crown. So historically England and Scotland were separate crowns, separate monarchies, until the year 1603. We like our dates in our history, we've had a lot of it. So in the year 1603, Queen Elizabeth I of England died, and who was the next person with a rightful claim to the throne? No one in England, it was actually the King of Scotland. Influence from Great Britain comes into the island of Ireland, and that all happens because there's been an Holland and wolf cranes you've seen. So what, 100 years? Neither of us will ever be privileged to travel in such magnificent surroundings.
Right on the spot. Too easy.
Die specifieke artiesten die dan waren dan. Terwijl dat weet je wel dezelfde muziek is als van andere techno-DJ's soms, weet je wel. Maar dat ik dan wel dat liever luister, weet je wel. Dat ik dus dat ik gewoon als ik ergens ben geweest bij een festival, dat ik dan graag die artiest die dat soort sets dan graag terugluister en dat het gewoon veel mooier vind. Terwijl er heel veel vergelijkbare muziek is, maar dan werken er meer. Ja, precies. Sowieso wat terugluisteren, ja. Ik ben benieuwd of je nog wat lekker released.
Sowieso, hij is de laatste en alle dingen van
In Belfast, my dad got me with snort, then my brothers after me. You could hear the noise from where we lived, but nothing prepared you for the size of the place. They put me to work on 401, that's what we called her. We used to be the largest passenger ship in the world, but we didn't call her Titanic then. I was there from the beginning. I was the ship right through the keel blocks. They set big wooden blocks on the slipway to start with, then the keel at top of it, like a backbone, and the frames attached to that, like a skeleton. Workshops everywhere. It took weeks to find your way around. There'd be workshops of every trade you ever heard of. Painters, sailmakers, coppersmiths, boiler makers, cabinet makers. I even learned a bit about French polishing of them. Barnet Wharf was a fine place to work, but dangerous. Every ship cost a life, and there'd be lots of injuries besides. I was in the engine works for a while. Very well equipped it was. That's where we built the triple expansion engines. 2 of them, each as high as a 3-story house. I worked in the frame bending shop. You had heat steel beams in the furnace, then hooked them onto slabs of cast iron and hammer them curved. It was skilled work. You had to bend there more than you needed because the frame straightened out a little when it cruised. The shell plates that made up the hull weighed up to 4.5 tons. They were taller than the dam. The plates were overlapped on the edges. Some were raised, one after another. We called it clincher. One of the foremen taught me years ago. That's how you built these ships. I worked as a heater boy. You had to heat the rivets on a wing plate. You pump the bellows till the rivet was white hot. Then you get a hold of it with your tongs and throw it up to the catcher. And he put it in the hole in the plate with the holder up. There were 2 of us on the other side of the plate with the holder up. We had to hammer the rivet so it filled the hole before it turned dull red. The double bottom. That's a wee space we called the tanks, made up of steel plates. The rest of the rivet squad all had to fit into that gap. One of the foremen would check each rivet with a special hammer. If it made a ringing sound, we'd have to go back and chase it out after work. I get scared working down in that double bottom. You only had candles for light. And the constant hammering against the shell plates. You could hear it all over Belfast. Some of those boys ended up stone deaf, so they did. We were paid 31 bob a week. The heater boy in Catchwork at 16 bob. But we all worked the same 54 hours. The upper deck was steel too, and part of the strength of the ship. There's no straight lines in the ship. And when you look down the lower deck, you can see the shear of the hull, the stock curve flexing at sea. The stern frame had to be strong enough to take the rudder and turning in heavy seas. You'd have all these timbers and guy wires to steady the frame, and men scurrying around like ants underneath. When we came to launch day, I was torn between pride and fear. The standing ways were coated in tallow, clean oil and soft soap. So the ship would slide when they shifted her weight off the blocks. That was the most dangerous part. And the shipwrights were knocking away the last props. They were under compression, you see, and the sliding ways would be released by the hydraulic trigger. 100,000 people watched the launch. Some paid a bob to sit in the reserved seating. There were extra trams laid on. Then we all went off to the pub to wish her well. Ach, you were proud to be an island man that day. And Titanic was the pride of Belfast.
And the things that we are going to be created as the thing of the great sheep of ice in the air.
A bit later, the foreign funnel guys carried away, and the funnel, weighing perhaps 50 or 60 tons, fell down with a crash on the water. It missed the raft by, and some of us hanging on to it, by inches. There were a good many that didn't. Next thing I remember, I was still hanging on to a bit of rope attached to the raft, but some 30 or 40 yards away from the ship. The wash of the falling funnel had evidently picked us up, raft and all, and flung us clear of the ship altogether.
I was surprised to see how all the boats had gone, and there was the last boat, I think, to leave the Titanic was number 13. No, there was a 15, but we had trouble with our davits. They were frozen, and I'll tell you, I thought we were just going to be dumped into the water. We had one of the worst times for that boat to be lowered. And I had the baby, and the baby was crying all night, and so finally we touched the water, and we were rowing. There was a light in the distance, and the captain said,
So it was just dead in here. Almost 19 miles away. That's what I was asleep.
Being 50 detectives on the case, they never caught the people who did it. They only ever recovered £2.5 million in a sports bag down in County Cork. Cronan's isn't from Cork, is it, Emmett? Cronan's coaches, are they from Cork? They are from Cork. Oh, well, so there we go. Graduation is taking place. So this building here dates from the 1840s. Now, what I normally do at this point is I get off the bus. When we had the 20th anniversary in 2023 of the Good Friday Agreement, we came back with the Clintons. So you can imagine them having functions in here. Gas lamps. Pub next door, Robinson's, dates from 1895. So two very nice pubs if you want to drink after your dinner, if you're allowed to. They are nice 3 times. What? Never once closed its doors. Now, why did it have 33 bombs on this hotel? Well, in the 1970s, we didn't have many hotels in Belfast. We didn't have many tourists who wants to come and visit a war zone. That's where the politicians stayed, and so it became a target. Here on the left, we've got this lovely little theatre dating from 1895. The Grand Opera House, that's where Pavarotti made his debut. Charlie Chaplin played there in the 1920s. It's always related to Palestine because they feel that they are part of the United Kingdom. It turned into a visitor attraction. That's very interesting as well. There used to be kind of public hangings about that prison as well.
hexagonal shapes of basalt rock. And they sit here on the northern coast of the island of Ireland. Having been here for just 1 or 2 years, like 60 million, that's what we come to see. People are fascinated by it, which is why this causeway, this pavement that nature or a giant has created.
You know my son Robert, he lives in America. Yeah, Vegas, awful place. Okay, so I'm Keith. I'm going to take you into the visitor centre today. What we're going to do, first of all, is give you tickets once you get off. If you can keep them visible, please. You need to show them going into the building here and whenever you come back up from the Causeway Stones. Once we get inside, we will get you audio guides in English, obviously, so you can listen to the stories on the way down. And we'll get you maps. The restrooms, which you will obviously be looking for, are halfway up the building on the right hand side. It's about a 20-minute walk down the stones. We recommend doing that for it. It's a beautiful day today. Watch out for
Anyone going swimming? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to?
Oh, watch out for the bus. What bus?
If you really wanted me to, I can do every quarterback.
That's to the feature.
Whoa! Oh my goodness.
I'll try.
So, things like the cliff collapse here happens. Obviously, we've seen tried to causeway the basalt. Basically, the basalt sits on top of a layer of chalk. So, of course, if the chalk gives way, everything slides down the hill. And effectively, that is what has happened in this bay here. As well as all the farming you see, these lovely lush. Basically, there's a little rock offshore with a huge chasm between the coast and this little rock. And you take the Gaelic, Carrick comes from a Gaelic which if you translate it means rock on the road. So it's a point on the migratory route of the salmon. The fishermen knew that if they cast their nets out, they'll be able to capture the salmon, and therefore happy days. They've got a trade, they've got an industry, and they've got money coming into the pockets. So for probably around 300 years, the fishing was taking place around this coast. until really the salmon habits changed a little bit and the numbers dropped. So the fishing doesn't take place anymore. But at its high point, the fishermen at Carrick-a-Rede may be landing somewhere in the region of 350 salmon a day. So captured down, obviously in the sea, and then on their backs, up the cliffs to where they could be sorted out and sold on. So tough work in all weathers. And all on this little rock you see behind the white church. Records we know there's been salmon fishing taking place in this area of the coast since the 1600s actually. I think the first records were around 1620. Which is quite something. And yeah, hard manual work. You needed enough fishermen to be able to not only cast the nets but also bring them in. The boats that would be lowered down, they'll be lowered down from the island as well, and then at the end of the day hauled back up. So that was hard work as well. So you needed a minimum of 4 to be able to do that, I believe. So as it's, the salmon stocks started dwindling for whatever reason. The salmon maybe thought we don't want to go around there anymore because we're going to get caught and end up on someone's plate. Also, it got harder and harder to recruit new men, yes, because it was a man's work, to come in and do the work. So really a combination of two factors meant the fishing around this coast died away. But for all that incredibly dramatic coastline.
Fire groups actually.
It was said to be the hardest gig as a fisherman on this coastline. So what we are hoping to do is try down here. So this is a classic really when you think of what we're doing today. Certainly there was just an everyday thing. So.
Oh, wow. That's fire. Yo, dead ass Fortnite. Oh my god. This is dead ass Fortnite. Holy shit.
Ian, are you feeling this build up?
No. Nerves.
You know they say if you want to pass, you get free ice cream.
Get it.
Look at this. Oh my goodness God. Oh man. Beautiful.
Alright, we go. You need a picture of you from the bridge.
Oh my God. Oh. That's a fucking Were you trying to get me to drop it?
Yeah, Amber, that's right, sit down.
Way out there somewhere in Scotland.
not soon after they built it, there was a cliff collapse, so they lost a dinner and about 5 servants.
Oh, where is it?
Yeah.
Nice out there, bro.
Surfers. Some nice big sand dunes there. So you have dunes on the Jersey Shore, starting obviously in the process of setting up the screen. All sorts of everything.
Yeah, they have the camera set. Oh, it's Rory! I can't see it. This is fire. Oh, this is open.
Yeah, I'll be there one day.
I already know. Oh my god, it's so far.
Yeah.
Golfers right there. That might actually be a pro.
Wait, he's placing the shovel!
Wait, it's actually a pro. Wait, let's see the swing. That's gotta be a pro.
What?
Hey, slow down.
Nice, that's pure.
Oh, it sucks.
That's pure.
We know this has got to be 18 over here.
I'm guessing the 18th is probably the big one here with all the stands around it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's a practice round. They just put these here.
Here we go.
Oh,
They've got a temporary telecom.
That's gotta be like 30%.
Yeah. Grandpa, you played the US Open.
You should have sent a picture. You should have got a picture, be like, yeah, got invited out to do a practice round.
The only thing I fucking need now is just me and back. That's in there. Yeah. Talking about coach buildings.
Straight this way. See that big red deer? Come on.
Backdrop, the amazing Ben Bowman Mountain you see there to the left, and that will give you some wonderful photos from here. So we're driving around the headland here. It's lovely, look at those rocky platforms with the waves crashing onto them. Of course the water's cold. Folks, if you want to, I'm pulling in here, if anyone wants to jump off and get a photo without glass in front of it, you can do.
It's like 5 inches quick. Now I gotta see a break.
We're not gonna see.
When it started big, it goes lower.
Big waves in these parts, which is why beaches around here can be very popular with surfers.
CCTV cameras. What? Yeah, in the middle of this, there's CCTV cameras.
Yeah, you can follow the sample around there. It's rock. I wonder how deep it is though. It's looking really deep. Yeah.
So this is the little harbour of Mullingar. Lovely views to the Dartry Mountains, which are the great lumps of rock there that are the real marker of Sligo. Ben Bowman, which is the big boy, is the one with the one there. Obviously some interesting stuff going down there, maybe training in the harbour. So anyone else to get off?
Yeah, it looks like they're doing some kind of exercise. What?
Everybody's still.
Nutters. Ruse loose in the top paddock, one short of a six-pack. You do it. Whatever you want to do, Emmett, you do it if you want to. I'm guessing the water, I'd be doing the toe test. No, too cold. Okay, you might know that that's much, much smaller than the main tower in the centre, protected by an outer wall and encased in top. This scope was formed sort of millennia ago, as the world was forming itself. All the rock you see around it, Corkscrew Hill, as you can tell, you see it wiggles, just like a corkscrew. And I tell you what, if I was a car coming down this, I wouldn't be arguing with anything as big as we are. We got a handbrake start on the hill. So folks, a lovely start.
Oh no.
Thank you. Well done, you. Yeah, you really know your tunes.
Yo, first one to jump on Venmo, you $10.
If anyone has any questions at all, the crew will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our adventure at the cliffs.
but I'm sure she's a local oyster. So as we swing round the headland here, you can see the lighthouse at Wards the Shipping. Back ahead. Oh, the dangers. Changes, Galway Bay now on the left. If you remember back to, I think it was Alice, was it? Or Eamon in Dublin, or Alice up in Belfast, when they explaining a little bit about Irish, some of the Irish history, pages of Irish history. At one stage, particularly in the 17th century, there was tumbles from the right to the left, that's Galway Cathedral there, and ends up out in the bay.
I'll wait for this one.
Once you go, if you cross a sheep with a kangaroo.
No.
You get a woolly jumper.
Ah.
A jumper being a sweater.
You gotta figure out some words that we know, bro.